Hey everybody, thank you for joining us at this fireside chat at F3 conference hosted by FreightWaves. I'm Chris Hurst, I'm CEO here at StratusGrid. We're a global technology partner who specializes in the logistics space. And I have with me Michele Sancricca. Michele, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for AWS?
Hello, Chris, and hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to you and StratusGrid. I am Michele Sancricca. I am the Global Head of Technology for Supply Chain and Logistics for AWS, and my role is to bring to life solutions and technologies for customers across the globe in the space of supply chain and logistics, clearly on AWS.
Awesome. Really excited to get to talk with you today because I know AWS gets to do some of the coolest things with logistics companies. So can you tell me a little bit, let's just jump straight to the future. That's what this is supposed to be about. In this future of freight, what are you seeing companies doing and how is AWS enabling that?
So the future of logistics, which by the way is still already here today, is in the space of data. And every company, both shippers, buyers, sellers, beneficial cargo owners, and logistics service providers, nowadays are already more in the business of data than in the business of logistics. And the sooner companies are going to develop a credible data strategy, the better for them to remain relevant and competitive in the future.
Yeah, I love that you say that the future is already here. I think one of my favorite sayings is that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. So what are some of the challenges that you see in getting that distribution of technology to get everyone to that future state of tech? What are some of the problems you're seeing logistics organizations running into?
Yes, absolutely. Data are at the same time a great opportunity, but also a challenge to companies. Because data are allowing to improve the visibility across supply chain, control over inventory, control on cost centers, control over equipment and also people. But this is a double-edged sword because the amount of data that are produced every day is increasing. The need for secure, cost-effective storage is becoming more widespread, and the challenges there are making some companies struggling with the use of data. And this is where you need a cloud strategy to implement your data strategy, and you need partners and cloud platform providers able to come up with the tools that are needed by a company to manage the data. And by managing data, I mean collecting data, storing data, analyzing data, and surfacing to internal personas and to customers information that are extracted from data.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what you're saying is we need to build a strategy together in order to know where we want to go and have people that know how to get there. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's correct. That's correct. And this is where we see many companies across the globe turning to AWS and our partners like StratusGrid to help implementing not only the cloud infrastructure that they need, but also the strategy that is needed to make the best use of the cloud infrastructure. And talking about AWS, the full portfolio of services that we have more than 185 services. So the depth and breadth of our services is substantial, and you need a good strategy to make sense of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if I was an organization that, I'm looking around, I'm saying, I want to differentiate with technology, I want to get to that next level, I want to be driving and pushing the future of freight, what would you say that I need to start with? Let's say I'm a traditional organization, I've been around for 20 years, I'm right now currently on premise, and I have, at least 2 or 3 different systems that I have data residing in. What would you say is like the first step on that journey?
So what we see happening with customers is that there is no a predefined path. Every company is different, but there are some golden rules that needs to be followed. So first of all, you don't need to migrate to the cloud all your workloads at once. Is a journey that can start from low-hanging fruits and from specific workloads and specific set of data that you can move gradually to the cloud. Second, you need a top-down approach where the executive team is embracing cloud, and third, the vision of embracing cloud needs to be resonating across the entire organization. So you need pretty much everyone on board, and you need the right level of training and awareness across the organization to achieve the strategy goals. So once you implement these steps, then everything is easier and is more feasible.
So let's say that I have the buy-in, right? So we have executives that are bought in, and they understand that they want to reach that next level and that they want to partner with AWS in order to do that. What would be the benefits of doing that, right? So we've done our migration project. What's this new reality? What is this opening up for us?
So we have seen many customers in the logistic and transportation spaces, but also in supply chain, speaking more broadly. I can name, for instance, Matson, the ocean carrier, or Deutsche Bahn, the railway operator in Europe, and many others that achieve substantial cost savings. So if it's just the beginning, we're talking about 50% circa cost savings on your IT infrastructure cost. But then you have also the advantage of scalability, because you can scale up or down your infrastructure really at a click of a mouse, and for instance, balance your compute and storage power during peak season to withstand your e-commerce surge of orders. But then you can scale down when you are not in peak season, and you can really save a substantial amount of money thanks to scalability, and you can provide a better customer experience at the same time. You have also the advantage of global deployment, so you can make the best use of the AWS regions across the globe, and our backbone infrastructure that allows you to replicate your workloads across the globe for the benefit of, for instance, starting operations in new regions very easily, new geos, or ensure that there is enough redundancy for your workloads. And you have other advantages, of course, like the freedom of experimenting and using new resources like machine learning, data analytics, fail and restart very easily without a fixed cost. So these are another advantage.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say I want to play with machine learning if I'm going to build out just a little bit of AWS infrastructure versus buy an entire supercomputer worth of compute in order to do it. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're saying something that is absolutely right. The advantage of cloud computing is that is a pay-per-use resource. It's like switching on and off your table lamp at home, right? So you don't need a power plant. You just switch on and off the switch, and it's the same that happens with AWS services, pretty much.
So you had mentioned earlier that data was a centralized piece of this. So we have it migrated. We're getting some cost savings, a lot of flexibility, a lot of elasticity. How does it help with the data problem?
Yeah, one big trend that we are observing is that customers are one of the first steps after the migration is to build a data lake on the cloud. A data lake, for those that are not familiar with the term, is a large repository of unstructured data that might come from different systems like your WMS, your TMS, your booking portal, and so on. And this data can be stored in a very cost-efficient way on the cloud, and then they can be processed to normalize them, to increase the quality of the data itself. And after that, you start the so-called ETL jobs, where you extract, transform, and load data into specific workloads, which can be analytics, advanced analytics, visualization, and so on. In a nutshell, what you achieve is concentrating data in a very cost-effective manner, which implies also increasing the security of the data and regulating the access to the data. Second, you achieve a normalization of the data, so you create a structure of the data, and then you extract actionable insight. You extract actionable information from the data, and you turn raw data into something that can be used for your organization to take better decisions. And this can come in the form of visuals, so business intelligence, and can also be used to train machine learning algorithms and create a predictive and prescriptive analytics that is going to tell you what's going to happen in the future, or is going to prescribe what is the best path of action for your operational decisions, for instance.
Yeah, and I remember I saw a company once that actually built it to let them know when something was not going the way that they planned to. So that's another use case that I remember seeing being like, hey, alert me if this isn't working the way that I think it is, if the market doesn't work the way that I think it does, or that I'm building my business around. So that's really helpful. So let's say that you have the data all in one place, right? What does that allow you to do from a customer standpoint, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to all gain more customers, gain more business, provide a better experience, and it's differentiated. Having all that data in the cloud is great for me to make decisions. Is there any way that I can surface that data to customers or build platforms that are going to help customers? And how does AWS help with that?
Thank you for this question, Chris, because this allows me to bring an actual example of a customer of ours, Aramex. Aramex is a prominent logistic and e-commerce supply chain provider in the EMEA region. They are operating globally, and they use the AWS to build the data lake and also to implement advanced machine learning solutions that are allowing Aramex to predict the estimated time of delivery of their shipments to the doorsteps of their consumer customers. And what they did, they used these data points, the estimated time of delivery, both to make their operations more efficient, but also to surface to the customer itself via their web portal and booking portal this information. So customers, they don't have anymore to call the service center of Aramex to learn when their order will be delivered. They just look at the website and they get the information they need. So this drove a major decrease of calls to the call center, with also cost savings there and an increase in operational efficiencies overall.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any reduction to call center, I mean, that's a huge increase to operational efficiency. That's exciting. I know a lot of people who'd be very excited to have that happen. Can you tell me a little bit more about working with other partners, right? So if I'm in the freight industry, obviously this is a very complex industry. I'm interacting with a lot of partners, not just vendors, but also other suppliers up and down the supply chain, and my own customers. How does AWS help with that story? You know, I see EDI a lot, for example. Are there other alternatives to that? Where does AWS play in that story?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we see supply chain as a network of nodes, and each node is a different entity, a logistics service provider, or a cargo owner, or a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 suppliers. And what AWS can help customers to connect all the dots across this network and enable the ingestion and the processing of data with high quality and low latency. You mentioned EDI, which is the predominant technology used in supply chain and across transportation and logistics. You have also API, and AWS has a full range of services that can be used to harness these different flows of milestones and information, make sense of them, and distribute the information across an organization and between different organizations.
So I know we're running out of time here for our chat. I'd really like to know, if we were to come back and say, what are one or two things that you really want someone to take away from this conversation and to understand about Amazon Web Services and how it relates to logistics? What would you say that those are?
Yes, I think that the first point is that data are becoming extremely important, if not critical, for every organization to remain profitable and relevant in nowadays supply chains. So you need a very strong data-driven culture and a data strategy in place. And the best, most cost-effective and efficient way to implement data strategies to use cloud-based technologies, and is where AWS can absolutely help our customers, not only because of our technologies and our range of services and infrastructures, but also because of the vibrant network of customers and partners like StratusGrid that can be leveraged on to implement our data strategy very successfully.
And there's one more question that I like to ask that I get a lot from logistics companies that we work with, and it's specific to Amazon and the relationship with Amazon. Could you talk a little bit about how AWS's relationship to Amazon and Origin Story relates to logistics?
Yeah, AWS started as the technology provider to Amazon.com. And the Amazon.com application that so many users are accessing every day runs on AWS. And today, the majority of the global fulfillment of Amazon.com runs on AWS. So once we became proficient and we understood that we really we were creating a lot of value for Amazon.com, we started to bring this value also to external customers. And this is how AWS started, and today became the largest cloud technology provider in the world. And the logistics and supply chain is in our DNA. This is why we take pride in bringing unique value to our customers in the specific vertical of supply chain, transportation, logistics, not only for our cloud technology proficiency, but also because we understand well the complexity and challenges of global supply chains.
Yeah, that makes sense. So really, you could say that AWS was designed first and foremost to fit the needs of one of the world's largest logistics organizations. Like, that's what it really sprouted out from.
This is where everything started, yes.
That's exciting. Michele, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed getting to talk with you and learn from you. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Chris, and talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.